that we have a couple of things that are now concluding digitally that aren't coming out physically. They will be in the trades, the physical trades. Some of these sting a little bit more because so I want to make it clear, when we talked about this with Marvel last week, I said that I'm in full support of some books after, say, a 6-issue arc saying, hey, this is not selling enough physically, but it's worth still doing digitally. It's still worth paying the writer and the artist and whoever else to put this out as a book in digital format. Because if that's we get to keep doing it and get to keep having the book for that, I think it's a great idea. And it was a bit awkward with Marvel because it's like really awkwardly after 3 or 4 issues where it's just suddenly switching to digital. The DC examples of this, the 2 main examples we have here for DC, are kind of more frustrating because they're right at the end of relatively longer runs. So the first example here, Supergirl, issues 41 and 42 are going to be digital only. So if you've bought issues 1 through 40 physically, what?
Yeah, like me. This is great. I'm gonna have a 2-issue gap.
Yeah, it sucks. I guess I think part of this is the printers being, backed up, and these are low priority books, and they're like they're cancelled anyway. They're not selling. This is a waste of time. Well, we could be printing something that is going to sell that we actually need to be printing.
Yeah, I think it's the 1-2 punch of their lower selling books, but they're also just about to end anyway. I think that's the 1-2 combo here.
Yeah, at least this one we knew was ending. The other one was cancelled in this announcement.
It probably was. It probably was ending because we were expecting this to be cancelled like months and months.
Every single issue, we're like, oh, it's still going. And that's, I think from everything I've heard internally, it was already cancelled. They knew they were cancelling it at the issue that we're going to get to, but. They just made the announcement with this shift to digital.
So that issue, for the record, is the Terrifics. The Terrifics is ending in August with issue 30. So that's the last 3 issues of that. So 27 were physical. The last 3 are only digital. Again, they will be in the physical trade, the last volume of the trade.
Just, September is the last issue.
Oh, sorry, September. Sorry. I assumed August because that's what we were just talking about.
No, it's May and June, week 4s, I believe, respectively for Supergirl, and then week 1s of July, August, and September for Terrifics.
There you go. So, I mean, again, I think the idea of things switching to digital so they can continue is a really good idea. And there's still a benefit here because arguably the alternative to this is they just don't get to finish, so it's still better than that. But it does feel kind of awkward just having the last couple of issues of a relatively longer series just not coming out in that same format. So that's really frustrating. But
yeah, so now that so there's not going to be a writer on Flash as we know right now, and we know that Yang needs somewhere to be. So how would we like Yang on Flash?
I feel like you're dream booking
I
there.
would rather not, personally.
Oh, Connor, you suck.
I've not really enjoyed Yang that much. I mean, I like New Superman. Okay, it was fine, but not enough that I wanted to continue reading it. His Terrifics I outright hated. I couldn't even finish that first issue that he did.
This is kind of what I was saying earlier when I was talking about how there's all these signs, like, not that I expect direct replacements for some of these books, although I can see a new Supergirl book possibly happening and, a relaunch of some sort, but just the idea that they're kind of cleaning the slate a little bit and ending some things that aren't going to be continuing into this next phase, whatever it may be now. So, making room for other books that they're going to start. So I definitely feel this is another example of that happening, is these books ending.
DC likes to be publishing a certain amount of books, usually. They
roughly.
have a rough target.
Yeah.
They've spoken about this publicly in the past a couple of times. So it makes sense they'll replace them with something or other. Because I remember, it was probably about a year ago, actually, just before the Hill House announcement, where there was all the talk of, they're cutting back on their books. They want to get down to, only 20 or so titles or whatever it was going to be. Or maybe more than that, whatever. But whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, but once you add in all the Hill House books and all the Black Label stuff, it's actually like they're actually publishing about the same. It's not really any different.
Yeah, that was kind of overblown when that was happening.
Right.
It didn't really amount to much.
It's probably a similar thing right now where it feels like, we're in that same period before the announcements where we're dwindling books and we're feeling it. And we do for a few months, but then we'll get a big, boost of fresh stuff coming in.
Yeah, I remember that happening. It's always exciting when the new stuff does come in. So hopefully, I'm just saying I'm really glad that Wonder Woman's back to being good because that, it's one of the big characters, but also because it's a double shipping book. It's this.
We say good. We're being very hopeful based on the writing team.
That's a good reason to be hopeful, though. To be fair.
It is.
Yeah.
We can't be sure.
I have faith in Tamaki. So next bit of news, not mainline DC such, but worth mentioning that Jeff Lemire is announcing that he's bringing back Sweet Tooth, which will be at DC because he did that at Vertigo originally. This actually lined up with an announcement of the TV show going to Netflix because it was at somewhere else, but
Hulu, I believe.
Was it Hulu? Robert Downey Jr. is producing it, so you got a big name recognition there.
Yeah.
And
on the downside to the TV show, I think it's Beth Schwartz, who was the Arrow showrunner for the last few seasons, is show running it. So temper that excitement.
I was going to get into the TV side too much, but yeah, so that's just kind of what lined up with this news. A bit of synergy here. So there's not a whole lot of details about how it's going to be revived. It's just, we know the title is Sweet Tooth: The Return.
I know he's working on issue 2 already, because he posted a little image to announce this.
Yeah, I actually read all of Sweet Tooth a few years ago now, admittedly, but I read all 40 issues of it, and it was enjoyable. See, not my favourite Jeff Lemire work.
It's not my favourite Jeff Lemire work either. It's probably like maybe 4th.
That's solid. You know, I had fun with it. So no, it's interesting news, and we'll see what it amounts to. Interesting to see how they sort of brand this, and now with no Vertigo and everything's been kind of Black Label. I guess it meant to be a Black Label book.
They've been reprinting the trades under Black Label anyway, this will just go straight under Black Label.
So there you go. I wanted to just mention something about Diamond and the desire to keep this Tuesday schedule. I actually didn't bother checking, but DC solicits for August. Are they still Tuesdays?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Okay, that makes sense. So basically, there was some interviews with the head of Diamond, Steve Geppi here, whatever his actual job title is. I didn't bother checking, but he was talking about DC's decision to sort of break away from exclusivity. And what I thought was interesting about this is that, and maybe a reason why other publishers might take a bit more time if they are going to jump ship or do other things, is that DC, when they renewed their contract like about a year and a half ago, actually put a new clause in their agreement, and I thought this part was really interesting, is that they could at any time with 6 weeks notice start publishing through somewhere else without exclusivity, without any reason. They have to have a reason for it. They just have to give 6 weeks notice, and they exercised that obviously as soon as this quarantine stuff kicked in.
And Diamond went, sure, why not? No one else is going to distribute them anyway.
And then the world decided to end, and this is what happened. But I think that's interesting, like, because it makes me think back to that time period. I'm like, obviously they saw this, because obviously books didn't just stop as soon as everything started stopping. There was a build up to us expecting. We for about a month. I mean, it was very like a lot was happening week to week, and then it was like, oh, I wonder if we'll still have books in 2 weeks. And then the very next week, oh, next week's the last week of books. Like, we're stopping, and I wonder, like, when you look at it, like, it took like that month to get to like the start of May, end of April to start publishing books. I wonder if that gap was purely because of the 6 weeks notice, rather than because it took that long to get set up. It was more that no, on this date, sometime in March, they said, okay, we're going to do this, but we can't do it for 6 weeks because that's the notice period.
Yeah, I bet DC were like, going, look, can you get this get ready in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Can you be ready to ship books in 6 weeks? And they're like, well, give us 8.
Because I wonder if DC, because obviously everything was happening so fast, this stuff was closing over March and whatnot. I wonder, like, if they could have foreseen it a little bit earlier, would they have had it prepped? Would they have been able to just shift immediately into...
Whichever lawyer put that clause in deserves a bonus.
Yeah.
So, but it does make me wonder, though. We're talking about, Marvel or the smaller publishers having conversations with them, and Marvel haven't had conversations as far as we know, but they might at some point. There's a possibility. Maybe, can they just change? Do they have to wait till the current contract expires? And because DC are doing this, and because that option's on the table, I wonder how that affects negotiations with Diamond. Is it in their favor that Diamond have to make them offers? They have to be competitive with them, because otherwise they'll just go somewhere else. But alternatively, are Diamond more stingy with these clauses? Like, no, you have to put in that you can't go anywhere.
What would be really interesting if it gets to the point of, it's contract renewal time. If they go, you're not having this clause in, do they just walk, knowing that there are other distribution options now? Because up until this point, there hasn't been any other options. It was Diamond or piss off.
Yeah, no. I mean, for all the turmoil of all this might actually be a very positive change, because competition is good, and Diamond have had a monopoly for so long.
25 years.
25 years, yeah, precisely. So I can't not see how this doesn't end up as a potentially positive move, even if it's just a simple case of it forces Diamond to be better, and then Diamond stays as the top dog that most people use. That'll be fine as long as it forces them to be better.
Yeah, see, I just remember when they did that. What was it, like a conference, like a meeting thing that they put up, like the state of Diamond, and a lot of what those guys were saying was not putting the shop owners at ease. Like they understand what's going on. So I don't know. Hopefully they can learn, but like the way the market's supposed to work, right, is competition. Competition is supposed to make things better for the consumer. So who knows? I just know from a lot of the shop owners that I hear from, via Twitter and social media and whatnot, they're kind of happy that there's multiple streams for it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's some shops, of course, who are determined to hate change of any kind, but you always get those people.
Out of interest, Matt, do you know if your shop is using any of the new distributors, or if they stuck just purely with Diamond?
No, so I haven't been able to get down there yet because they're still doing curbside, and I'm still just trying to stay home. Like we're not.
Yeah.